Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, we have not seen this little chainsaw in a while. It got a lot of attention when it was initially built. Our little Craftsman flea market special 2.2 36 cc's. We done a what I would call a pretty nasty little port job on this thing, and you know, it ran really strong for what it was, well, until it didn't. My dad had the saw and said, well, it had just quit. Wouldn't start back, but she's down on compression. We're going to pull it down, put a gauge on it, see what's up, and then strip it down as swiftly as we can so this video is not way too long, and see what the culprit is. Get this top cover. New air filter in there. Hold her wide open. That's pretty low. Alright guys, let's strip her down, see if we can find the culprit. And my plans for this, and we will do it in another video, is I have a minty low hour 42 cc jug to go back in it. And yes, it's a direct swap right into these. Just squeeze that trigger a little bit. This thing's had new fuel lines put on it probably, I don't know, a year or so ago, and the carb rebuilt, so hopefully we're still good there on all of that nonsense. And if you're not familiar, this chassis is like the same as like a Poland Wood Shark, a Wild Thing, your 2150 through your 2375. About everything on them's the same and interchange. The moldings and the colors are just a little different. Yank that muffler out of the way. Alright. And if you're unfamiliar, that's like a 3-part, 4-part muffler. Original deflector in the back. I have videos somewhere on the channel showing how to just go in and simply modify that. The main thing being is to cut a big portion out of that baffle. And that thing is full of oil. Full of oil. Honestly, that's probably the only reason it had what little compression that it did. I was trying to pump cylinder full of oil or trans fluid or something, trying to get it to make enough compression to bust off. We'll get the starter recoil off. Should be one more down here in this corner. Alright. You want to remove your clutch before your flywheel. This is just a disc brake tool. I use it on a lot of different saws. That's going to spin off on a forward motion. Like so. No, it don't line up on some clutches and fit perfect, but all you need is that little bit of a hammer and motion, and typically they'll come right off of there. It's really no different than shoving a rope down in the cylinder and pecking on it with a hammer and a punch. And next, our flywheel. And it will have a washer under it. That washer, you'll recognize it because it's kind of beveled. You want that bevel up. Okay, you're moving this flywheel. You can either just frill it with the hammer and pick it off, but what I like to do, let's get this wiring out of the way first. What I like to do is kind of come in behind it with a T-handle, twist. If you got enough strength in your wrist, you can typically pop those things right off. And we need to pull the cover off of the oiler. We could probably wiggle the engine out of there with it in, but it kind of gives you a little more room to wiggle when going back together. And it's just 2 Phillips head screws. You'll have to dig them out and find them. If you've used the machine at all. And the oil pump and a lot of these is interchangeable. The main difference is the covers and how they lay in the saw. Usually just pop it up out of there. Sometimes you have to take that off. Get it out of the way. Depending on what saw you're fooling with. Alright. We're just going to push that back down in there for now. There's our oil pump. I know it was working flawless. Throw it over in our cart. And lastly, you're going to have 4 5/6 screws that go up through the bottom into the engine. Whoever put a light on the front of those was a genius. So you might want to take that top screw out of the coil. You can take the coil all the way off, I guess, if you want to get it out of the way. But I plan on putting this back together sooner than later. Okay, now back to that. Had to stop and remove some wiring. But you'll remember that Husky cylinder bolted to the bottom, or the belly pan bolted to the bottom of the cylinder. And then you also had your 4 screws that held it all into the chassis. Well, those 4 screws that hold it into the chassis are what clamp everything together on this one. It's looking like my Moto Silk that I like to use. This thing's pretty good. That one did not want to come apart. And I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you guys and let you know I've been into this once. The original ring that was in it had about 2 miles of ring gap. I dug around and found another ring that I thought looked like it was within spec when I measured, but just was not grabbing the cylinder. Now, a little trick you can do, and I'm not going to do because I have a completely different engine I'm going to put in this. You can run your ball hones. You can see I had that cylinder oiled good. Like I said, I'm going to be honest, I've already been fooling with this, but it's probably been a year ago trying to get it to run. I could pump the cylinder full of oil, get it to run, and once it smoked and burned all the oil out, it would lose compression, and then, well, didn't want to run very well then. But what you could do in this situation to get you back going, and I've done it, you can take some sandpaper, and you can see how that ring's glazed. That's a chrome ring because it's a bare cylinder, bare aluminum cylinder. You can scuff this ring up and get it good and coarse all around, and go in either with some sandpaper or a ball hone's what I like to use, and get a crosshatch back on the cylinder, and in most cases they'll build enough compression to run. Then kinda hard to see, but the ring gap's good enough. Like I said, it was probably just the fact of things being glazed over and pulling one ring from one cylinder and putting it in another, and the fact that that's a bare aluminum cylinder. Yeah, but there you go, guys. There's a tear down on that, and basically the original ring in it just wore completely out. It had a mile of ring gap, and I put about a wore out ring back in it, but yeah, didn't work. But as quick as these are to disassemble and do that, it was no big deal. But I'm almost certain that'll drop right in there. That's a 42cc jug. It is out of one of the saws that had the anti-vibe on it, so hopefully we won't run into any issues there, but I'm pretty sure things are identical other than that. But we'll see that in the next video. Till then, you guys have a good one.